is up? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Back here with some more Dino Crisis gameplay for you. And today I'm going to be talking about something in Dino Crisis that I believe is a thing of genius and to this day isn't 100% appreciated. If you haven't already figured it out, I'm a huge Dino Crisis fan. And one of these days, it seems like I said a lot, one of these days, the franchise is going to make a return some shape or form. And with people having more ability to play it now with PlayStation Network and Capcom basically allowing you to actually purchase the game separately, it gives people more of an opportunity to experience this game, especially if they have never experienced it for the first time. But there's something in Dino Crisis that I believe is a thing of genius. It actually is one of the biggest reasons why I would love to see Dino Crisis be remade. I have no problem with it being remastered. I would take either one, but it's one reason why I want to see it being done a remake, a la maybe how they've done the Resident Evil franchise. So what is that reason? What is the stroke of genius I talk about? And it's a thing that hits you right from the very early stages of the game. And it is without a doubt the Velociraptor. I think the Velociraptor has so much potential. It's an amazing addition to an already great game, in my opinion. But the potential of what you could do with it in a remake is actually really scary. Scary good in this case. I've always been on the mindset that I believe the Velociraptor is just a stroke of genius. I think he's just absolutely perfect in a survival horror setting. I think he's a perfect enemy for this game. In fact, I'll go so far as to say I think he's one of the most, just greatest pure enemies in any survival horror game, period. Now, that's a big claim. I'm not going to sit up here and say I think he's the greatest thing of all time, of all enemies, because that's a debate we'll have to the end of time, and I don't know who would that be, because there's so many varieties of enemies in survival horror games. But in my opinion, I think he's a stroke of genius and perfection. But why? And why is it the reason why this game had to be remade? He's one of the biggest reasons why. Well, let's dive right into it. But what makes the Raptor special? Because it's not like it's the only dinosaur on the island you encounter. There's a lot of other different types of dinosaurs that have different varieties to them. You have the ones that can fly around. You have the ones that are smaller, but they have more to them, and they can attack you as a unit in a group. You have the ones that are basically a little bit more brute and powerful, but they can also kill you in a one-shot fatality kill if you're not careful, similar to the Hunter from Resident Evil. And last, but certainly not least, the one that made me basically shit myself when I first encountered it busting through the window for the first time is the T-Rex. And these are all amazing enemies, amazing dinosaurs that have amazing presence in this game. But they just don't hit quite like the Raptor does. So what makes the Raptor so special, in my opinion, just a perfect addition to this game, is just the fact that he is the most common enemy in the game. You see him more than any other enemy in the game. So, in comparison terms, he would be like what a zombie would be in Resident Evil, the early ones. Let's just say, Resident Evil 1 or 2 and 3. They're the most common enemies you see in the game. But you and I both know there's a huge difference between a zombie and a raptor. A zombie ain't running on your ass 24/7. A zombie isn't always constantly moving, aggressive, all over the place. And also, a zombie doesn't take the amount of punishment that the raptor can take. And remember, the raptor is the most common enemy in the game. In some rooms, there's even 2 of them. And trust me, once the raptor sees you, he will be on you. And he's not going to do that whole slow moving walk thing. He is going to be on you. You get a little bit of breathing room when he kind of first notices you, but after that, he's booking for you. And the thing about it is that he's so aggressive. He is so on you. He is so chasing you. And sometimes, similar to how the zombies were in Resident Evil, where they would, if you see you go through a door, sometimes they can bust through the door and come after you. You also have these sequences where they'll just appear out of nowhere, whether they're busting through the ceiling, busting through the windows, just appearing out of nowhere, these danger sequences that you got to be careful with. So they can appear in just about any shape or form. And once again, I remind you, this is the most common enemy in the game. And they take a lot of shots to put down, barring you don't have like a tranq dart just to get rid of them, or the poison dart. In terms of like the shotgun rounds, it's not like, hey, you can just one shot hit them in the head like you can maybe do a zombie and take them out. No, sometimes they take a few rounds and stuff. And remember, This will probably be the equivalent of if the entire mansion of Resident Evil 1 is filled with just hunters from the very get-go, not the zombies. So, yeah, there's a lot of raptors, and they can take a lot of damage, and they can dish out a lot of damage. And the fact that sometimes you'll have a hallway with two of them, sometimes, you might have two in a room, and the other one will follow you, so it's three. So it's like no matter where you go, the raptors are there, and they're fast, and they're agile, and they're on your ASS 24/7. So you have this enemy that can be all over you at a moment's notice. They're quick and agile, they're extremely aggressive, and they're all over the place. And they're the most common littered enemy in the game. Yeah, that's pretty terrifying. But here's the thing. While I think that's a stroke of genius to have an enemy that powerful be the most common enemy and have it constantly on you and can appear in any situation amazing for when Dino Crisis was released, one of the biggest reasons why I want to see a remake is I think they can take that a step further and make it even more terrifying and put you in such a uncertain, uncomfortable situation. And why is that? Well, from one survival horror game to another, I would love to see them adapt a similar thing to this legend of a survival horror game. Yep, the Xenomorph from Alien Isolation. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I want the Velociraptor, if they ever remake it, to turn into a shot fatality where as soon as he sees you, you're dead. That's the end. Because obviously this is a different style of survival horror game. But I'm not talking about in terms of the whole fatality thing. You're dead instantly or you have no ways to defend yourself. What I'm talking about is how the Xenomorph in Alien Isolation works in terms of his AI. And what I mean by that is what makes the Xenomorph terrifying is that he's always stalking you, he's always there, but he's always learning. And so if you do certain tactics and you keep using those certain tactics, the Xenomorph is going to grow accustomed to those tactics, and, they're going to basically be like, hey, he keeps throwing those sound makers in one way, maybe I won't fall for that anymore and just go the other way, which is probably what the player is going to do. Or he keeps hiding in that same spot, the lockers all the time. Maybe I'll check the lockers this time when I walk past them. And to me, what I liked about the Velociraptor, especially that one scene in Jurassic Park, is, they're smart, they're intelligent. They learn. They learn from your methods, and they can basically put you in the okie-doke. So what I want to do is to take some inspiration and some stuff from Alien Isolation in terms of how the Xenomorph works with its AI and apply it to the Velociraptor. And just have them basically hunting you. And keep in mind, I was just talking about the Raptor. I wasn't even talking about the variants of the Raptor, which are even more terrifying and dangerous. So just imagine you have sequences where you really got to be unpredictable. Because if you become predictable, the Raptor's going to take advantage of you and basically knock you on your ass. So I can see so many inspirational things from Alien Isolation basically created for the Raptor because it's tailor-made for the Raptor. I mean, you could basically say the Raptor in a way is kind of the apex predator, the hunter type thing, how the Xenomorph is for the Alien franchise, just how much it can hunt you. It's so intelligent, so smart. I mean, just imagine, right, you have scenarios similar to how it was in the original Dino Crisis, but they fool you. They make you think, hey, they're going to come out this way, but no, they just want you to spend your attention on that obvious path they're going to come out from. No, it's the other way around. They just basically pull the rug from beneath your feet, so you can't always trust what your eyes tell you all the time. Or a scenario where, like, hey, every time you go in this hallway, the Raptors see you leaving the same doorway. Instead, have a Raptor, as soon as you enter the door in the loading animation screen, wait for you. Or maybe you're going through the ventilation shaft through your grapple, and he's waiting for you up top there because he sees you do it all the time, so he cuts the wire in the process of you going up while the other ones chase you on the bottom, and basically, they got you in a pincer attack. Or the laser walls that, prevent them from getting to you. They see you pressing that button, and that laser wall keeps hitting them back, and eventually they figure out, hey, you know what? Why don't we just claw that panel that Regina woman keeps touching, and hey, maybe it won't work anymore. So basically it cuts all the power to it. So, hey, guess what? No laser wall for you, and you're basically kind of in a bad spot here. I see so much potential with the Velociraptor in a remake for Dino Crisis. I think he's a stroke of genius in the original game. I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. But the Raptors would be one of the biggest reasons why I would love to see a remake in Dino Crisis. because it's truly terrifying what they could do. But that's my opinion. I want to hear your guys' opinion. How do you feel about the Raptors in general? Do you think they're an amazing enemy, especially being the most common enemy and being that difficult to deal with right from the get-go? Let me know down in the comment section down below. But thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Hopefully I can see you guys back in the next one. Thanks, and I'll see you all later. Peace.